Public, I'm Rukma with you, and in news that's breaking in from Afghanistan now. Afghanistan security authorities have confirmed that Mursal Nabizada, a former Afghan member of parliament and one of her security guards, were on Sunday killed in Kabul. Mursal Nabizada, a former representative of Laghman province in the Afghan parliament, was killed by unknown gunmen in Kabul city's 12th district. Reports suggest unknown gunmen entered Mursal Nabizada's home in the Ahmed Shah Baba Mena locality in Kabul city's 12th district. The gunmen shot dead 2 people. And one of the persons who was shot dead was the MP. So now confirmation coming in from Afghanistan security authorities of the death of Mursal Nabizada. And to tell our viewers more about Mursal Nabizada, she is a former Afghan she's a former Afghan member of parliament. Gunmen entered her home and shot her and her guard, a security guard, dead. And this happened on Sunday in Kabul. And I go across now to my colleague Samiksha, joining us from the Mumbai newsroom to take us through more updates on this, more details on this. Samiksha, for our viewers, take us through this breaking update coming in. Now, it's been confirmed that this Afghan MP was shot dead by gunmen in an ambush, can we say. They broke into her home. Gunmen broke into her home and shot her dead. Tell us more.
Well, that's right, Rukma. So, a former Afghan member of parliament who's been identified as Mursal Nabizada and one of her security guards as well were killed on Sunday in Kabul. Now, we do not yet know who is behind this particular incident, but important to note here the kind of incidents that have been happening in Afghanistan, where there is an attempt to suppress the voices of women, be it in terms of, the latest diktats that have come in from the Taliban leaders, not allowing women to work at non-governmental organizations and even barring women from pursuing higher education in Afghanistan. In fact, talking about this latest incident, we are given to understand that it was on 4th of January when several blasts were heard in Afghanistan's capital, Kabul. The blasts, of course, come 3 days after at least 10 people were killed and 3 others were seriously injured in an explosion which happened at the Kabul military airport. So there have been a series of blasts that have been taking place in the capital of Afghanistan, Kabul. In fact, the Taliban's interior minister spokesperson also said that the explosion caused injuries close to the military airport's main gate in Kabul. So, yes, of course, this is the latest incident in which the former Afghanistan member of parliament lost her life. It was her security guard as well who was with her, who was also killed in this blast. We do not yet know who was behind this attack, but those were unknown gunmen who seem to have entered the former Afghan members of parliament's house. In Kabul, in the 12th district, the gunmen shot dead 2 people, which included, of course, this Afghan member of parliament, former Afghan member of parliament, and her security personnel. Rukma.
So while, Samiksha, as of now, it could be either a case of a crackdown on women in the public eye, on women in positions of power, it could also be a terror attack. But what are authorities saying about the kind of investigations? Because we hear that even as we speak now, there's no reaction from the family of Nabizada as such, even though her brother too was injured. We hear, Samiksha, in this particular incident.
Rukma, for now, there is a statement that has come in from the spokesperson of the Kabul security department who's made it very clear that those responsible have not been identified yet. And the reason also behind this killing remains unclear. So neither have those miscreants been identified, nor do we know the reason behind killing. But just to take our viewers through what we know so far, this incident happened. It happened on Sunday when these miscreants, they entered the house of the former MP the gunmen shot dead not just the former Afghan MP but also her security personnel. Also important to note here that this comes amid recent spate in terror activities in Afghanistan. Remember, there was a blast that occurred in front of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Kabul on Sunday, and a series of blasts, in fact, to have happened in Afghanistan's capital, Kabul, on January 4th. So there's been a spate in, blasts that have been happening in Afghanistan, and a brutal crackdown when it comes to suppressing of women voices. We know, of course, how women are now no longer allowed to work at those non-governmental organizations. Countries have also come out openly how they condemn this kind of crackdown that is happening in Afghanistan. And amidst all this, we see it's a woman, former Afghan MP, who was shot dead inside her own house. Rukma.
Many thanks, Samiksha, for joining us there and for bringing us up to speed on that. So Mursal Nabizada, it's been confirmed by Afghan security authorities, has been shot dead. She's a former Afghan MP, but details are still awaited. Moving on now, we get you news from Maharashtra's Gadchiroli, and reports are coming in of firing by Maoists on a police team in Vedampalli forest